Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I am Piglet here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have managed to able to fully complete it in terms of Shadowville. In addition to completing those two levels in Shadowville, we also managed to able to found the final set of Poochie Pups basically, because even then we have now finally done with these Poochie Pups basically. So today, for this episode in particular, is the fact that we might as well able to wrap things up in terms of able to continue doing some souvenir hunting in journey forms of Shadowville. So here we go, let's go back on to skulking around in just trying to able to find the sculpture for the whale. So hopefully we would be able to find that at least, and hopefully eventually we'll able to get, what else? Some more smiley flowers. So in case if you couldn't tell already, is the fact that I haven't exactly noticing this before, but apparently though, is the fact that after I'm pretty much gonna be all set in terms of likely doing some more uploading schedules by this point, in terms of Yoshi's Crafted World, I somehow just suddenly forgot to realize about something, is the fact that I was originally trying to able to go ahead and just get myself organized with you know, the 27th video in the sake of Yoshi's Crafted World, and then I've double checked on the forms of the number order in terms of the actual parts itself for schedules department. Mind you, it won't happen again until likely until when it gets to the point until later on throughout in September or something like that. Yeah, because today's day is of course the 15th of September today, in this case in 2020. So in this case we're now on to the halfway point on September already. So either way, I just wanted to let you guys know what today it is. So even then, we're just gonna have to leave it to that. So yeah, as far as when I was trying to able to actually do something, according to the forms of uploading schedules in particular, and by the way, we managed to finally get ourselves our whale sculpture right here, so at least we can able to actually just, or you know, automatically found that. So anyway, so let's go ahead and just, you know, talk to this Blocko fellow again, and hopefully we should be able to gather some more, what else? Some small smiley flowers in between. So the next side quest is Little Mouser. I'm thinking he was probably at, you know, Mr. Geary's factory, because, you know, we've already saw him from before, so we can, at least we can able to actually just to go ahead and, well, just keep on searching for it, basically. So, anyway, as far as I said this before, that I was expecting to able to double check of how many parts I've actually got myself organized with, and I've somehow managed to got myself, well, we've already just sorted 26, and, I might as well do, the 28th part until when it gets to the point until on Thursday and stuff like that. And then I somehow managed to realize is the fact that I was like, oh gosh, crap, I have managed to forgot to able to save my clips in journey forms of this part. But thankfully, it's not completely deleted or anything like that. If it does go completely deleted, then it'll become one of the worst Let's Plays I've ever done. But either way though, thankfully for me, I managed to able to actually just somehow recover it. So that's good to know, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, it gets a little bit worse and worse as far as like memories as far as I'm most likely concerned. But either way though, thankfully, as I said before, I thankfully managed to able to restore some of my video clips every once in a while. So even then I was like, whew, that was pretty close. So anyway, so, what I'm gonna say? Oh yeah, sadly there's not much else I can talk about, sadly, apart from the fact that, well, we still carry on doing our souvenir huntings for this game so far, but ultimately speaking of the forms of souvenir hunting in this game, that, it seems to be more specifically, we're almost done with it. So even then, though, we just only got, this world to do, and especially noticeable for the special world, which I'll talk more about that until when it gets to the point until next week or so. So even then, though, because of this, though, we are, naturally speaking, we are very, very close towards the end of this so far. So either way, though, now I'm not exactly sure how well the progression is in terms of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, as far as what Sonic has usually just managed to continue with that Let's Play in general. But I will just say this right now about the fact that actually I'll get to more discussion on that until whenever we get on to, you know, at some point in the beginning of October at some form or another. So we can at least expecting so. So anyways, let's go ahead and get ourselves this little mouser that's been hanging onto that little things itself right there. So even though it's actually not too hard, and especially noticeable, it's not too shabby to able to actually just do it for the sake of finding that. So that's cool and all, especially noticeable how the fact that I can easily manage to able to just trying to able to compromise of such. So either way though, let's go and get ourselves the next smarty flower around here. So we can expect we can able to now move on to the nighttime vehicle, which I think it was actually on Be Afraid of the Dark on the front side. So either way though, yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So oh yeah, a few things I want to briefly mention about this is the fact that in addition to hopefully trying to able to conclude those particular Let's Plays for now, which there are obviously Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and especially noticeable for this game in particular, that once those two Let's Plays have been done and completed, then we can probably move on to the next set of new Let's Plays, including, well, usually relatively speaking, definitely is still continue things on Mario Party from now on. So even then though, as far as I'm aware correctly, is that I'm pretty sure he was now on to, well, I would say the grand finale board already. So even then though, well, he already just managed to play through 7 boards already. So we can expect this much about the fact that the, you know, the Mario Party 1 uploading schedules will still be, you know, still will be on the actual emphasis on weekends department. So you probably get the idea for that solution right there. You most likely get the idea. So anyways, now since we found the nighttime vehicle, which is actually very easy to find, as far as I can usually understand for that little solutions for the sake of time, now let's go ahead and move on to finding the files. So I think there are actually on skulking around, so even then we could hopefully try to find the rest of these files while we're able to, God knows if we're able to actually just to find them. But if I somehow lost track of myself of where in the world what the other stuff will be at, well, hopefully I might as well do some, you know, milder jump cuts, especially noticeable with some parts in mind, so. But you know, you get the idea for that solution right here, so either way though, let's go ahead and get some more Yoshi's eggs, and I guess there's nothing around here somehow. So, but at the same time, we'll try to try our best if we're able to grab most of the coins anyway. So hopefully we would be able to get those in time, and stupid little guards. Anyway. But again, not much else to talk about, sadly, because again, there's not much else to say about it. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and just keep on grabbing some more coins, if eventually we might as well get ourselves more costumes throughout. And good thing we've got a checkpoint right there in case if we actually missing something. If I somehow got a game over on that specific front, then I'm also able to actually just able to, you know, just try to able to do some little bit of short, you know, jump cuts in between. So, okay, there's another vase just around here. And seems not so bad for the most part though. Well, at least despite the fact that you have to go for a lot of stuff you need to do. Even though it might help, especially noticeable if you ever play this game on the go, which I'm actually perfectly fine with. But when it comes to doing multitasking all at once, although to be fair, in during forms of the hybrid of everything, likely, well, I don't know how do I explain about this right now, just because, well, usually I'm still have to mainly just, you know, concentrate on certain things and all that stuff, so I can at least expect that, so. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just be very careful not to get caught by this bright light in the front, so that way we really can't afford able to get hurt by any sort of hazards, well, to be more specifically, those little guards. So, oh jeez Louise. And please don't tell me this is going to be end of a level, because I can assure you that if I somehow miss by one vase left, then I'm also able to do a, well, I don't think I can able to do a jump cut, honestly, just because, well, it's pretty obvious because of how the fact that it's usually not too far, I've hoped, but either way, we'll just go ahead and just utilize this, so hopefully we would be able to just deal with all that. And yeah, it looks like it's the end of a level, so oh, that's just great. That's just great. Especially noticeable how the fact that it's always gonna happen most of the time. But thankfully though, we're almost done with the souvenir huntings in this game, luckily though. And there goes my another game over, so that's to be expected when it comes to certain playthroughs like this. Anyway, let's hopefully we can able to find that last files, which we'll definitely gonna have to able to hurry this up before we're able to move on to the next souvenir. I mean, Jesus Christ, I hate these souvenir systems sometimes in this game. Especially noticeable, you need to look really hard in doing any forms of the actual depth and everything. I mean, I don't mind it too much, it's just that sometimes certain places can usually goes off as like, I don't know, kind of hard to reach certain aspects in between. Let's not activate that, but we could able to just get caught by the light, and there we go. It was just right over there, just right onto that, almost to the brightness part of the actual level. Oh jeez, I have no idea why I'm just keep on ranting at this point, but either way, as I said before, that we pretty much almost nearly the end when it comes to doing these, you know, godforsaken souvenir huntings and stuff. But either way, that's one to point out right away. So, alright, so next thing we need to find is the forklift, which I think that will be pretty obvious. It was actually on Mr. Geary's factory. So hopefully we would be able to find that. Oh yeah, talking of which actually, is the fact that I recently managed to able to no longer have, well, we still have no longer have Super Kirby Clash on the eShop downloadable game from Nintendo and stuff. I think this is pretty obvious because of how the fact that I'm just getting sick of microtransactions kind of heavy kind of stuff. And also because I just got, well, for my honest of life, I just got bored of the game now. Well, usually don't get me wrong, the visuals do look very good, although despite with the 30 frames per second thing, just like in Kirby Star Allies, but I will say this, I kind of prefer playing Star Allies a bit more than, you know, Super Kirby Clash, because that way, Super Kirby, you know, Kirby Star Allies doesn't have the actual microtransactions or anything like that, and second, well, it does have a lot of platforming to the mix, and also a lot of fan services alike. Well, don't get me wrong, that Super Kirby Clash still has the fan service, but it's just too bad is the fact that that game utilizes microtransactions. That's the only problematic I feel like. Because, well, it's kind of a shame, because I'm really looking forward to able to actually playing through, you know, some sort of like a HD version of the already existed 3DS game in Journey forms of the 3DS eShop since 2017. But apart from all that stuff though, I just sadly got bored of it. And plus, because of how the fact that since I've technically already got Team Kirby Clash Deluxe on the 3DS, and I'm fine with, just because, well, it's on the 3DS, and that way I can play on the go, and plus it has a, well, of course, smooth 60 frames per second and stuff like that, and also just, well, it's pretty much everything for the most part, what I expected it will be, but it's just the fact that, well, I just simply just gave up on it, and plus I somehow managed to able to delete my save cloud data on Super Kirby Clash now, just because, well, I just got bored of it. That's all I have to say about this here, so... But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next souvenir thing that we can able to find, and turns out we need to find the doghouse, and I think is actually going to be on Be Afraid of the Dark level, so hopefully we should able to find that in just about a few seconds worth noting for, well, despite the fact that I need to grab myself some more tons of Yoshi's eggs, as in for his arsenal and stuff, well, in terms of more accurately just trying to able to aim at something, so... But you know, you most likely get the idea, so either way though, and I finally managed to glad that I've managed to able to actually get this upload during that time, because I was a little bit worried at first back then, because I have to like get these parts going before, you know, anything else will turn out, especially noticeable with certain Let's Plays needs to be finished. So, yeah, you know, you get the idea for that solution, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and grab some more hearts before we do anything, and especially noticeable how the fact that, well, we still need to able to actually continuously go to the right and stuff like that. I don't suppose that we might able to come across into the flip side anytime soon, but apart from the fact that we can able to just get onto the forms of the flip side versions of some of the levels themselves, until to be more specifically later on throughout this part, because even then though, as far as I'm aware, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing some of those flip side levels themselves, because since we've already done pretty much all of these Poochie Pups hide and seek kind of activity going on, and as a result, we don't have to worry about this kinds of stuff anymore. So the only thing it needs to do now is, of course, to try to find every single souvenir as much as we can. But then again, that we pretty much almost nearly at the end, towards the end I should say, for able to deal with these souvenir huntings and stuff. Well, it wasn't until whenever we get onto towards the end of the game basically. But apart from those side of things though, that's all I can really say things all that's been considering, so... Anyway though, so let's go ahead and just go from here, and I think the doghouse might actually be just right after this checkpoint right here. And fundamentally speaking, yep, I saw it just about right here. But before we deal with all that, I just need to grab some more coins in case of trying to able to gather, you know, some more costumes in between. So kudos to that. Kudos. Alright, so I think we're pretty much almost done here, especially noticeable in terms of Shadowville souvenir quests and stuff, so even then I'll want to know what's next. And turns out it's gonna be, okay, some cheap pictures. So if I could assure correctly, it will be on, no, not so much for this level, but to be more specifically, sulking or skulking around level. So I do apologize for that pronunciation error, just because there's not much else I can usually decide to talk about this, because, you know, not much else to talk about, you know. You most likely get the idea of how the fact that I keep on saying things like that, because then again, there's not much else to talk about. So anyways, let's go ahead and just, you know, try to not get caught again. And hopefully, without even giving me too much trial and error and stuff like that. And it looks like the first cheap picture is gonna be on, well, not so much this way, but we could able to actually go all the way from there. And hopefully trying to get some more Yoshi's eggs. And, well, hopefully we're gonna have to go for a bit trying to find them. Without even, like, you know, missing one of them. So, there's the first one just around here. But first of all, just got caught. Hopefully I need to find a button somewhere, which, I was really hoping that would be the case. Oh wait, it's actually all the way back there, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just noticing that. But anyways, let's reactivate that, and let's not get caught, and we'll just wait until that cheap picture goes up. And there we go, we did at least found one of them. And then again, we need to find 5 of these, by the way, in order to be able to actually just to completely done with some parts throughout. So, it won't be so bad, especially noticeable. I can definitely notice some of the clear images like these, or in this case, the actual, the clear view of what the cheap pictures looks like. So, but even then, it might be not so difficult after all, so... Alright, so let's go and just, you know, not get caught here. And I see another one over there. And hopefully, we would be able to actually just to do so much this. Alright, grab a checkpoint in case if we're about to get some more hearts, if eventually we just keep on, decide to go ahead and just, you know, trying to risk ourselves for able to speed things up a notch, even by the forms of, well, to be more specifically, just anything, so... Alright, so let's bring ourselves all the way up, and I think the last cheap picture frame is actually going to be on... Oh wait, it's actually over there. Luckily though, you don't have to worry about getting caught by the lights, but rather we can able to aim it from over there. So that way it just makes things a little bit easier just trying to able to obtain that particular familiar souvenir itself. Alright, so what's next in between right here? Well, I would say what's next in terms of the souvenir hunting we can find through. So let's see what he has to say. So he needs 6 happy gears. So that will be pretty obvious. It will be on Mr. Geary's factory. And this might actually be the final time trying to explore the majority of the levels in the flip side now. Because this is the final time experiencing the flip side versions of some of the levels themselves, because whenever we get on to the later portion of the game, well, to be more specifically, well, I'll get to more details onto that whenever we get on to the next week kind of videos or something, because again, we'll try to able to actually completely done with this game until at some point, well, then again, I'll talk more about that until whenever we get on to, you know, the next few weeks or something. So, but then again, it will take a lot of time, even especially noticeable how this game is actually going to be twice as long compared to the ones and how it does it in Yoshi's Woolly World for sure. Well, despite with the forms that the actual video's length is actually determined, so... But you know, you get the idea. And also the final thing I just want to talk about this, and that was the fact that I know it might be sounds a little bit too embarrassed for yourself, but apparently I almost felt slightly sick. So even then I'm also able to take myself a bit too easy, and hopefully we should be able to actually accomplish certain tasks during time throughout. So either way, you get the idea for that solution here. So alright, so let's go ahead and... Oh jeez, my jump button does not even responsive to me most of the time. But thankfully we did manage to avoid that, even for the entire, you know, lava or magma itself. So, but either way though. And I suppose another thing, there's the reason why that I've almost accidentally deleted most of those clips, as you can tell. This is probably because I was gonna able to find the most, you know, the actual iconic title card sequence from the SpongeBob stuff, and as a result, I couldn't find any of them from now on, and as a result, I'm also able to do my my own way by simply able to do some, you know, multiple jump cuts, as you know it, so even then I'm probably not going to able to just deal with all that stuff for the time being, until, to be more specifically, whenever if we God forbid, if we're able to do the next RPG game or something, so, but even then, God knows what might happen, God knows what might happen, so, even for the sake of our channel standpoint, worth noting for, so, yeah, you get the idea for that solution here, so, let's not worry about this too much for the sake of this segment here, but we can able to continue for that point over there. And I just need to see what's... Ah, really? Screw you, Shy Guy. Screw you. I just have no idea why do I just... somehow just managed to able to just lose some potentials going on here. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and continue things on here. And hopefully we were able to find the majority of those gears as far as due time. Well, depending of such. Alright, so nothing around here I'm afraid, but at least there might be something around here though, but then again, I'm just not a big fan of those souvenir huntings to begin with, because there are, well, I'll hate to say, kind of a waste of time in my part. I understand because of 100% fully completion accomplishments, but it's just that, well, most of the time you never know where the other collectible items are, so that could be a little bit of a far from potential things worth noting for, but either way, that's kind of, you know, something. Oh gosh, it's the end of a level, isn't it? But on a plus note, is the fact that we have at least managed to find another one of those happy gears, but, oh wait a minute, I was off by 2 left, aren't I? Well, if I somehow miss those, yeah. Okay, quick edit right there, because I'm gonna have to replay that particular stage all over again, except now we desperately need to find the final 2 happy gears. I know where they are, but it's just the fact of the matter is, though, it's the fact that I just seriously cannot even believe that it just gets like, you know, it can be summarized as like, tedious, boring, and all the other stuff as you expected when it comes to souvenir hunting. It's almost like tedious enough, just like the ones in the medal collecting from Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360/PlayStation 3 version, that in order to be able to progress, but needless to say, that it feels kind of a little bit tedious in here as well. Unless if you really want to go for 100% completion, as you guys should already know, but it's just that it feels kind of annoying at times, even for what if I, you know, just keep missing something, like, you know, it just always happens, you know. But hopefully, whenever we get on towards the end of the game, not only do we pretty much almost towards the end of this particular souvenir hunting stuff, but also just trying to able to go ahead and just carry on doing the, what else, the usual point A to point B kind of syndrome or something. So, But you know, you probably get the idea about that solution right here, so either way though, let's just wait until this lava thing decides to go down, and thankfully we can able to find, well, as far as I've noticed, I've accidentally managed to bypass one during the forms of in this particular part just onto that rotating gear over there. So if we manage to spot that particular happy gear, which hopefully will show up, come on, there we go, that way we found the 5th one. And as far as the 6th and the final one is concerned, it will probably be somewhere in the background. So even then, no, because chances are, yet again, I haven't really looked on it that much. So I can definitely see it from over there. So I would expect that, yeah, it has to be over there, isn't it? Yep, it has to be it. I swear to God. Alright, hopefully it should. There we go. Ah, finally. Oh, jeez Louise. It took me a lot of minutes to able to actually figure out where in the world the last two happy gears were located, but still, it can be rather amusing, I must admit that right away, but either way, at least we're done with that at least, so what's next? Well actually, this is actually the last souvenir hunting for the sake of this world, which appears to be we need to find 10 robots, and just like the some souvenir hunting quests in during Paper Peak, Big Paper Peak world, that we must find 3 of these in each level. Well, to be more specifically, find 1 in each level. So in this case, we're about to be going back on to Be Afraid of the Dark again, and except this time we need to find 18 robots. So hopefully, that's been done. Thankfully, it will be easy as pie compared to the forms of the other souvenirs for sure, because we've already come across into those tin robots quite a number of times, specifically whenever you're trying to noticing this already from the actual visual standpoint. Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning too is the fact that I must admit though, for the sake of this episode right here, or for the sake of this video, I must admit though I do apologize for the actual continuous continuous delays between commentary and all that stuff, because let me tell you right off the front though, is the fact that I must admit that I do obviously apologize for that I don't know, suppose if you're able to actually hear it very well or something like that, but what happens is the fact that most people seem to always chatting around outside and all that stuff. Especially noticeable, there's gonna be a lot of like log cutters and stuff like that, which I must admit though, I did manage to able to cut off the sound effects what happens, just because, well, I just don't feel like trying to able to show you guys or trying to let you guys hear the actual mole lore. So even then though, because it'll get pretty nauseating whenever you try to hear me commentate or anything like that. Especially noticeable how the fact that, thankfully though, for the sake of buddy forms of later on throughout this video, it's getting a little bit more quieter around here, so at least we're able to consider this the actual main aspect of this though. So even then though, because you never know if the actual situation is all about. So anyways, while I'm at it, I need to go ahead and grind for some more coins along the way. So there's the first 10 robots just around here, and that's pretty much about it from here. So we can able to deliver, not only in terms of trying to find the first of those 10 robots, but also just manage to able to get ourselves 100 or more coins, so that way we can able to actually add up to our coins counter, so that way we can able to purchase some more costumes later down the road. So anyways, now let's move on to skulking around, and basically for pretty much the same thing. But then again, as far as you might as well notice right from the start though, we're no longer gonna have to go ahead and explore the flip side versions of some of the levels themselves this time around, because you know, you get the idea, because we're actually going to be able to, well, obviously, since Journey Forms of the last video is the fact that we are basically wrap things up already in terms of Poochie Pup's Hide and Seek, and because how the fact that Poochie Pup's Hide and Seek doesn't allow you to able to grab coins, only the actual front side. And it's a good thing too, that since we did manage to fully 100% in terms of, you know, the Poochie Pup's Hide and Seek quest, that also means is the fact that whenever I do some more revisited same levels in between, in Journey Forms within the front side or something, that way it allows me to able to actually grab even more coins at the same time. Before while this is happening, let me just try to aim it from that side, because I think it's a little bit safer, and plus we got ourselves another tin robot. So I think we've only got one more tin robot left, and then hopefully by that time, then Shadowville's souvenir hunting will be fully completed by that time. So even then though, we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff until likely on next week or so, because I say next weekend, or well, next week I should say. I did not meant to say next weekend because, you know, Duffy's still going to be continuing doing his Let's Play of Mario Party, so even then though, chances are, it's going to be a lot of things like that, so... Anyways, let's move on now back onto Mr. Geary's factory again, except now we need to find the last tin robot, which, fundamentally speaking, it was actually at the end of the level. What do I mean by that? Well, don't ask me, because even then though, that's how the thing suggests me to do so. So as a result, because if you think to yourselves, oh, are these the bottles that you've already just knocked down in order to be able to make it count as souvenirs or something? Wrong. Because chances are that these does not count. Unless if you really want to go after more coins or anything like that. If you really want to, you know, just try to able to grab some more coins if you really want to purchase some more costumes in between. But I digress. So either way though, let's go ahead and why the hell? I'll try to grab some more coins thanks to the forms of though not only the blue coins but also trying to obtain the smiley flower at the same time. And I don't know if... Okay, I might as well grab a forklift while we... or the forklift, I should say, for the sake of the forms of trying to grab, you know, some more coins for currency's sake. So, at least we can able to expect it for this. So, anyways, let's go ahead and continue for this point. And hopefully we need to just keep on climbing and stuff. And then hopefully without having too much... you know, trial and error anytime soon, at least until specifically towards the end of the game, spoiler alert. But then again, I'm probably not gonna talk more about this until whenever we get on to, as I said before, next week or so. So, even then, because it will take us a little bit of time to able to actually just, you know, just trying to able to continue for that stuff. And there's no point of able to going after that question mark cloud, because otherwise, if I somehow manage to win onto the lava, in this case the rising lava, it allows me to able to take me all the way back to that beginning sequence again. So I don't want to let that happen. So anyway, let's just grab this little Melser image, so that way we can able to get, you know, some more coins during that specific worth points. I don't know what I'm really saying for this point right now, because again, not much else to talk about, but besides we're almost nearly at the end of this Let's Play in general. Well, aside from able to actually just, well, just try to do some more stuff in between, such as, of course, doing a lot of commentaries and stuff like that, and especially noticeable for basically pretty much everything as to be expected, so... Anyways, let's go ahead and aim for that present gift box for... I would say this is actually the, well, I wouldn't say the final time doing this, just because, well, aside from that, the fact that we basically done with the gift box kind of syndrome, because thanks to the forms of that, you know, the forms of that particular red coins and stuff like that we've pretty much, gathered every single red coins now, but we're most likely gonna have to go after more coins if we liked it would be, so either way though, we could expect this much, so... Alright, so we're almost there now. It's just a matter of the fact that we need to do a lot of climbing. Now, once we make it to the top, I'm presuming that, in addition to trying to knock that thing over, but if we go... There he is. He's just right over there. And that will pretty much takes care of the forms of the... well, the 3 tin robots. So, and even then, to top it all off as well, we are basically done with the souvenir huntings in terms of, well, basically in Shadowville. So, how's all for that? Especially noticeable how the fact that we're actually getting really close to that, towards the end of that stuff. But anyway, let's grab that smiley flower. And, unfortunately I didn't have enough coins to able to purchase the final few costumes, or in this case 9 costumes in Shadowville. But, what I'm gonna do here is the fact that I might able to revisit to that first level on this world, and I'll meet you guys back whenever I grab some more coins. I'll meet you guys in just a second. Okay, sorry for the little broad jump cut right there, just because, well, then again, I have to replay that Be Afraid of a Dark level once again, and because of that, as you can saw, that we've managed to able to get a lot of coins, so hopefully, we should be able to actually purchase 9 more of those costumes, despite the fact that we've already got one, thanks to the forms of get one for free, kind of coin token. So that at least we managed to able to gather every single costumes in journey forms of, well, specifically in Shadowville. So, let's see what we got. We got these gears, and also we've got the electric lift, and also we've got ourselves the light bulb. And what else do we have? Green apple, alright. And also we have the El Martura. I think that's what their names are. And also barrier. And even the painted wall, and also red trash bin, and lastly we have is black coffee creamer. Alright, seems fair enough. And, well, seemingly to say, we are basically done from there. I know you guys are probably gonna say about the fact that aren't you gonna able to spend a lot of coins during forms of Cherry Valley? Well, might as well do that at some point in the future though, because at the moment right now, we basically haven't got enough coins, so that way we can able to actually grab some more during the future, points worth noting for. So, anyways, let's go and go all the way from there, and we need to spend about 30 smiley flowers to able to get access to that familiar castle. What do I mean about that familiar castle? Well, you'll see why until whenever we get on Thursday at some point in this week, so even then though, there we go. I'm feeling much more, have a lot of energy going for it, and basically he'll hop over to the side, and then basically he'll tell us something. Thank you so much for your help, and stuff like that, and Yoshi's trying to explain about, oh yeah, hunting for the gems and stuff like that, which, thankfully, we've only got one last dream gem left, which it appears to be on this castle itself. So I guess we should probably go ahead and end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Yoshi's Crafted World. Is the fact that we might able to take on the forms of, what else? I would say the final boss of the game. So see you guys until on Thursday. Later, fellas.